Hi, I'm Warren Buckleitner, and today we're going to look at some highlights from Disney Animated, a huge $13.99 app from TouchPress that turns your iPad into a museum of Disney animation. Let's take a closer look. This is what you see when you start Disney Animated, two ribbon menus that make accessible either 11 chapters or you can jump right to one of the simulations on the bottom of the screen. Let's move right into Art in Motion, the first chapter. So before we get too far into this app, let's look at that navigation. Now you notice right away anything that you see you can zoom in on, including this picture of Roy and Walt and the early team at Disney. Notice the cropping in the back that turns black. A lot of great nice touches. And then this is within the chapter. I'm pointing down at the bottom of the screen. You can see the different pages. So really the book metaphor is what helps you navigate throughout this app. This is the main menu again, and now I'm going into chapter 2 called Story. One of the fun things about this app is that Walt Disney himself describes how he makes animated pictures. Where do we get the ideas for our stories? So on this program we will try to answer in part this question. Fortunately for us, the way these things are answered is through rare artifacts, such as this storyboard from 101 Dalmatians, where you can pull your way right in and look at some of the fine details. There's this storyboard that normally you couldn't find that shows how ideas flow from Walt Disney right through to the end. And then in any of the animation sequences, you can scrub through the video and see how the different pictures relate to one another. Here, for example, is Walt Disney himself talking about Snow White, perhaps the most important production in Walt Disney history.
He's nice, but sort of silly.
You learn how Snow White led Disney into some of the pioneering techniques and how some of the artists behind this work operated and did their magic. These include people like Mary Blair, who worked on such classics like Peter Pan. And you not only just read about these people, but you can see their work and look at the documents, see their scribbles, and see how much they struggled to make these things come to work. This is chapter 4, one of my favorite clips called Character. Now, of course, this is from Rapunzel, and you can see some of the character guidelines that Disney followed. This is from Wreck-It Ralph, some 8-bit graphics, and some voices.
We fooled him. Oh, yeah?
Now that, of course, was Walt Disney himself voicing Mickey Mouse. Now you might recall that I call this app a hands-on museum, and it's because of different exhibits like this where you can control things on a frame-by-frame basis. As a result, you not only hear how animation works in theory, but you actually get to try it out for yourself.
In animated cartoons, there's nothing quite so important for the characters themselves as being plausible. Oh, by the way, this pencil you are watching is in itself a plausible impossibility.
This notion of plausible implausibility is one of the 12 principles of animation that this app uses as its theoretical framework. So if you're in a more scholarly mood, you can move through these principles like a book, and you can play with some of these different hands-on examples. One of the techniques I liked was how you could jump between different voices by touching the names of some of the 9 old men that worked on Disney animation over the years. Here's another simulation called the bouncing ball, and again, these things are all high in control, and they help you understand the principles and the theory behind some really abstract ideas. Now keep in mind, this is just a sample of some of the different animation hands-on activities. These include computer graphics simulation. And you can also explore some of the artifacts that the animators used in productions such as 101 Dalmatians, where they would spin an object on a turntable to see how something looked from different angles. Jumping to current day again in computer graphics, you can trace different outlines in snow, and then you can use social media to share your work, either using Twitter or Facebook. I'll show you how this works, and then we also should discuss some of the different strategies that this app uses to promote Disney products. There's also a timeline that lets you explore the different movies from a historical perspective, but you can also order the different musical tracks on iTunes. Again, I've only shown you a preview of some of the different content in this app, so keep that in mind. Another great sim is called Mood Shifter, and there is a very interesting thing called color maps, and colors were really important in Disney productions, and to show you that how this changed over history, the designers at Touch Press managed to put all of 52 of Disney's animated features on one iPad screen. And so you can jump right back to Snow White and see how things looked back in the black and white days, and then move way forward to see how things look today. One of the most important pieces of technology that Disney invented was called the multiplane camera. And this video segment tells you how that works.
Placed above and shoots downward toward the drawing. Since this new camera used many planes, we called it the multiplane camera.
Now, to get that excited about any piece of hardware shows that there were obviously a lot of geeks at work in Disney productions in the early days. From an educational point of view, putting all of this content and control at a child's fingertips makes this entire experience very educational. It successfully peels back the different elements that made up the magic that built the empire that Disney is today. I'm Warren Buckleitner. We'll see you next time.